and welcome to the Incomplete Guide to Film podcast, where we're learning filmmaking together. I'm your host, Alex Pinnell, and today we're talking about what to do when things don't work out. Mondays are for business. Talking about financing yourself for us independents. Filmmaking is a full-time job, and it also requires a lot of capital. So we have to find some non-traditional ways of earning money. A 9-to-5 job won't cut it for most filmmakers because it's impossible to balance this job with another one. So you end up having to sell yourself, to sell something that you came up with, to sell something that you think others will find value in and want to buy. You apply your talents to it. You spend time and money honing those talents, perhaps, or putting those talents to good use. And after all this time and effort and putting your heart and soul into an idea, no one wants to buy it. You'll talk to people about the idea. They'll say, this is wonderful. This is needed. This is something that's very important that people should have. I think that is great what you're doing. But no one seems to want to put a dollar value on it. They say it's important. This is great. This is wonderful. But you can't seem to find customers. What happens? What do? Well, this is when we run into difficulty. Because, with filmmaking, we're storytellers. Especially people who want to direct like I do. We're storytellers. And we invest our heart and soul into something. I think all creatives do. They invest their heart and soul into what they're trying to do. And then when you can't get any ground from that, it can be disheartening. It can be discouraging. I've met with this a few times over the last year or so that I've been trying to get filmmaking to work for me, where I can't find collaborators and the independent stuff I want to do is not making money. I do a lot of stock videography, and I put it up on Video Blocks and on Artbeats, two very prominent, highly respected sites to collect stock footage from. I haven't gotten a single dollar from it yet, and it's been 6 months. And yes, there's something to be said for small beginnings, and I can only grow from here, yes. But how do you deal with it when you seem to just be spinning your wheels? There's been a few other projects that I've been working on, a couple other things. I have been working with my dad to develop some curriculum to teach people how to do audio and video for live venues. We were targeting churches specifically because there's a million of those. Like, literally, there's millions of churches in America. So that seemed like a really good market to target. And since he and I have both had a lot of experience in running church media and all that, it seemed like a good idea. And we'd come in and we'd help them fix what they were doing, so that they were doing it right. And we would train their people so that they could do it, and then they would have a crack team of professionals by the end of it that could do what what they need to do for their media needs. And I've talked to various people about this. I've proposed my idea. I've talked to them about it, and they've said, yeah, that's a great idea. That's wonderful. That's really needed. A lot of churches have problems with finding talented people because talented people usually want to be paid for it. And, churches can't do that. They need volunteers. So they have to work with who they have. So, training those people is important so that you can have a team of media professionals who will also work for free. So, I talk to these people and they say it's wonderful, it's needed, that's great. And I've canvassed all kinds of churches around St. Louis, and I haven't gotten a single response. And there's been other stuff too. I've been talking about, I've been advertising doing stock videography for golf courses so they can have some stock footage that they can use in their commercials and things that is professionally done and is a little bit cheaper than, we were kind of lowballing the market on that so that we could get work. And still, no market, no response at all. And this has been the last, year and a half of my life. For a while I tried to make some money, and then I said, well, this isn't working, so I'm going to go work a 9-to-5 job. And I worked nights thinking, hey, I'll work nights, and then during the day I can do filmmaker stuff, and it'll be good. And you can't do that. A full-time 9-to-5 job, minimum wage, I was working my tail off and not doing anything that I really wanted to do, any of the filmmaking stuff that I wanted to do, because I was working nights. I was working from 4 to 1 a.m. And that means that, I have to sleep sometime. So I ended up sleeping during the time that I thought that I would be working on filmmaking stuff. And then I quit that job because it was not good for me. And then I came back to try to do this independent stuff, and I'm not making a ton of money. Last year I made $200 from a little event that I did for, and the way I got the job is my dad works for the company. That's how I got the job. And they were looking for somebody, and he said, hey, I know somebody. So, I got the job, and that was good. I got some job experience. I'm out there. I'm actually professional because I got a paid gig. I got $200 from that job, and that allowed me to buy the mic that I'm talking on now and a lot of the other gear that I use. So, it's good, but it's not great. So how do we deal with this? How do we deal with, maybe you're a screenwriter. Maybe you are writing stories and no one will buy them. Maybe you're an author and you want to publish a book, but no one wants to publish it. No one wants to buy it. And other people are saying that the stories that you're writing are wonderful, but no one will put a dollar value on it. And you gotta eat. How do we deal with this? Well, we have to get inventive. And if something isn't working, try something else. We've got all kinds of things that we can do now with our digital environment. We can sell all kinds of things. I'm working on creating, I'm working on doing a gaming channel. Why? Because these are popular. So I'm figuring that it could help bring in some revenue by directing them to the Patreon that I'm creating all the media for. And, it's another idea that I'm throwing out. I'm throwing it out, seeing if it sticks. And the other projects that I have, the stock footage, the church media stuff, the golf chorus stuff, that stuff is still there. I'm still ready to do it. And if the opportunity arises, I shall. But it's not a priority because it's ending up being wasted energy right now. You know, as time goes on, maybe it won't be. If I gain a bigger audience here, you know, with the podcast and everything else, maybe then I'll be able to sell some of this stuff. Because, you know, the church media stuff doesn't just work for church media. If you are, if you want to do media at, you know, a concert venue or a stadium, you know, you're going to have to learn how to do the stuff that we're talking about. So it's able to be sold to more people than just churches. You know, it's still there. It's still an idea. It's still something that I plan on doing. It's just something that I'm not doing right now because right now it seems to be wasted effort. And that's how I'm dealing with it. You know, I'm reminding myself that great things come from small beginnings. Everybody starts in their garage. Everybody starts in their parents' basement. Everybody starts from there and then goes up. So basically, I just have to find my niche. I have to find where I am getting the most audience. You know, I hit 200 followers on Twitter, which is really great. I hit that late last week, actually. So that's great. You know, I'm getting some followers, you know, not a ton of feedback, but followers, you know, and I've been getting some more consistent views. You know, a friend of mine just started listening, and that's, you know, really great. I'm really glad that he seems to be enjoying it. And the podcasts and all the filmmaking stuff that I'm trying to do seems to be getting a bigger head of steam. So I'm putting all my energy into this. I'm putting my energy into the podcast. I'm putting my energy into the skit stuff that I'm working on. I'm writing stuff, but I have to have people to work with me, you know? So I'm still working on finding crew. I'm still working on finding actors. I'm still working on all that. But, you know, right now I'm centralized on the podcast and this gaming channel that I'm kind of working through. I'm doing research. I'm figuring out what I want to do so that I can be unique and so that I can stand out so that people will watch and hopefully people will support me. And, you know, it's cool because I get to monetize a hobby of mine, something that I do to relax. Now I can make money doing it, which I think is really cool because I enjoy video editing and all that, and I enjoy playing video games. So, you know, bringing the two together to make money makes sense to me. So if you're feeling down, if you're feeling depressed because something really isn't working out for you, you know, maybe to put that on a shelf for now and try to move on to something else that you can work on, something that you can put your attention to that might give you better results. You know, Walt Disney said about his company, you know, and this was back in the 50s, that one of the great things about them is that they kept innovating. We keep doing new things. We keep moving forward, and that's what we need to do. We need to change with whatever our market is, and we need to keep moving forward. If something isn't working, don't concentrate on that and don't get depressed and don't not do any work at all on it because you're just like, well, this is just a wasted effort, so why even try it? You know, have that still there. It's still something. It's on the shelf there waiting for people to care about it. It's waiting for people to give a crap. And that stuff is all sitting there waiting for the opportune time. And then we work on something now that can do something now. And that's why I'm concentrating on Patreon. I'm getting all that stuff together. I'm making sure that I'm not going to be infringing on any copyright things because of the channel that I'm. So I'm studying a lot of law stuff. Copyright law is a little weird, so I have to study a lot about it. And I'm casting my view ahead, optimistically on the future, to see that things will be better. They aren't great now, but they will be in the future. It's just a lot of work now. But if you're working for yourself, don't shy away from hard work. Hard work is important. Einstein didn't say it. It was Edison that said it. Mistakes. Edison said, genius is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. We try 2,000 plus times to discover a filament for a light bulb that won't just shatter. We try to design it and it just breaks over and over and over again, and we figure out 2,000 plus ways not to make a light bulb. We're trying to make this work. And all we need to do is keep trying. An inspirational quote that a former pastor of mine used to say was, if you don't quit, you win. Because eventually you'll hit your apex, where your audience and your talents align and make you money and make you happy. Good day and good filmmaking.